think by having this new law, it gives them a little bit more empowerment, which is sometimes as a victim, that's what you feel like you've lost.
I had no idea what Caitlin's Law was before I started a story on Marcy's Law, and I just kind of fell into it. I reached out to a bunch of different people to get information on Marcy's Law, and they were like, well, have you heard about Caitlin's Law? And so it kind of just fell in my lap. So what Caitlin's Law is it is a petition that is in Craven County, started by people who live in New Bern, to give magistrates the right to issue protective and restraining orders. As it stands now in Craven County, judges reserve that power. So the main person I talked to, her name is Brittany Stokes, and in 2014, she lost her best friend, Caitlin Falconberry, to domestic violence. Her friend was stabbed to death by her boyfriend.
She had over 90 stab wounds to her body. But she was awake when the ambulance arrived, even smart enough to tell them her license plate number from when he took her car. And then she passed away before getting to the hospital.
A year later, Brittany found herself in a domestic violence relationship as well, and she felt that she needed to get a protective order. She realized that there were a lot of different steps and things you had to go to get a protective order, and she felt it took way too long, and she thought back to her friend Caitlin and what had happened to her.
Do I think that that could have saved her life? Maybe. If it was easier to get one, but it's not.
What surprised me during the process is that this is a murder that happened in 2014. 9 on Your Side covered it. It's a petition that began in 2015. 9 on Your Side also covered it. But for the most part, despite the fact that this petition has been around for, 3 or so years now, and I think that's what surprised me the most, is that I don't want to say it's some secret, but it's definitely not something that's necessarily out there. I'm Courtney Allen. Join us on Thursday on 9 on Your Side for a look at this story in their own words.
On average, we probably have about 15 to 20 domestic calls a month.
It's necessary that protection be available 24 hours a day.
Nobody seems to be able to answer that question for me. Why it's different in a county next door, but it's not here. Why is there? What's the difference between an invisible line that separates two places? You know, it should be the same across the board. That could have been something that saved her life.